Song of Lawino by Okotp'Bitek. Hello everyone, Martha here. What surprised me about Song of Lawino was that it began in Luo and ended in English as an afterthought. What I mean is this: the entire poem was first written in Luo and later translated into English with the exception of a few lines. Ocol translated a small excerpt for a writers' conference in Nairobi while attempting to publish the Luo version. After receiving a positive response, he decided to translate the entire poem. The poem was then published in 1966. Song of Lawino is a poem set in Uganda after its independence in 1962. It focuses on the dilemma that Africa faces in deciding whether to preserve its traditions or adopt European values. The story follows Lawino, an African wife evicted by her husband Ocol, who replaced her with a Westernized woman. The main theme is African tradition versus European ways of life. In addition, the tone used is bitter, nostalgic, and coercive, highlighting the strong emotions and tensions experienced by Lawino. The language used is easy to understand. The poet employs a number of literary devices that have been translated from the original Acholi language. This gives the poem an African flavor. Lawino's tone appears nostalgic throughout the poem as she recalls the good times she had with Ocol. This was before Ocol lost his head in the dark forest of books. However, the tone varies greatly across sections in order to address a specific issue. The book is divided into 3 parts, which are further subdivided into 13 chapters based on the themes or content. Each chapter describes the social problems facing Lawino and Ocol in their marriage, their differences, and their value systems. In part 1, we see that Lawino is conned by Ocol, her husband. The first 5 chapters fall under part 1. These are: Chapter 1, My husband's tongue is bitter. Chapter 2, The woman with whom I share my husband. Chapter 3, I do not know the dances of white people. Chapter 4, My name blew like a horn among the Paira. Chapter 5, The graceful giraffe cannot become a monkey. Chapter 1, My husband's tongue is bitter. In this chapter, we see the use of hyperbole or exaggeration when Lawino says,
My husband's tongue is bitter, like the roots of the Lawino lily.
The Lawino lily is a type of water lily with very bitter roots. Lawino begins her complaint on a personal note. The first chapter defines the background. Her husband, whom she loved and who loved her, has abandoned her. He calls her ignorant, dirty, and superstitious. He is abusive to her mother and her family. Chapter 2, The woman with whom I share my husband. Chapter 2 focuses on Ocol's new wife. Ocol's new wife, unlike Lawino, has been completely westernized. Lawino and Ocol's new wife compete for Ocol's affection during meal preparations. Lawino attacks Ochol's new wife with a simile that describes the type of woman Ochol prefers. She demonstrates her true wit by comparing Ochol's new wife, the modern-day girl, to a guinea fowl. She makes fun of modern beauty standards by comparing Ochol's new wife to a guinea fowl after she has applied makeup. She also compares her red-hot lipsticked lips to glowing charcoal. What European culture admirers find beautiful is made to appear foolish and unattractive. Lawino treats Europeans fairly in this chapter and uses her prejudice to debate her views with Africans. In the same chapter, Lawino demonstrates both intelligence and flexibility. She uses a variety of images to bring her point. This talent is combined with a sense of humor and the ability to admit her flaws in a clever way. This is evident in the passage below, in which she craftily admits to being jealous of the woman she hates.
Forgive me, brother. Do not think I'm insulting the woman with whom I share my husband. Do not think my tongue is being sharpened by jealousy. It is a sight of sinner that provokes sympathy from my heart.
Then the truth comes out.
I do not deny I'm a little jealous. It is not good lying. We all suffer from a little jealousy. It catches you unawares like the gusts that bring fevers. It surprises people like earth tremors. But when you see the beautiful woman with whom I share my husband, you feel a little pity for her.
The poet has used a proverb in closing this chapter. It is translated from an Acholi proverb. The pumpkin in the old homestead must not be uprooted. Pumpkins, according to Okot, are a delicacy. They spread like wildfire across Acholi land. Uprooting pumpkins, even when relocating to a new homestead, is a form of deliberate destruction. The pumpkin represents African or Acholi culture, which cannot be easily destroyed by Ochol and his fellow educated elites. Lawino is not asking Ochol to cling to everything from his past in this proverb. She is pleading with him not to destroy things for the sake of it. According to Okumu Palukobo, Lawino's point would be better expressed by another Acholi proverb. Daho abila enaemeni. Your first wife is your mother. This proverb means that you should never abandon your first pot because it is always the best. Chapter 3. I don't know the dances of white people. The title suggests that the chapter will focus on dance and Lawino's feelings towards white dances and the Acholi. In this title, Lawino admits to being uneducated, so she's unaware of white people's traditions. Lawino uses imagery to make fun of Ochol's life. Lawino's cheerful tone is enhanced by emphasizing the energy and free-spiritedness of the Acholi dances. She says,
It is true, I'm ignorant of the dances of foreigners and how they dress. I do not know their games. I cannot play. I only know the dances of our people. I cannot dance the Maramba. My mother told me the beautiful dances of Acholi. I do not know the dances of white people. I'll not deceive you. I cannot dance samba. You once saw me at the Orak dance, the dance for youth, the dance of our people.
The Orak dance mentioned above is the short form of the Larakaraka dance, which is a courtship dance. The physical imagery is even stronger when she says,
When the drums are throbbing and the black youths have raised much dust, you dance with vigor and health. You dance naughtily with pride. You dance with spirit. You compete. You insult. You provoke. You challenge all. And the eyes of the young men become red.
people from all over Acholi gathered to dance and rejoice, giving the image of a very lively and blissful atmosphere. Lawino employs zoomorphism when she attributes animalistic traits to the people she describes in chapter 3. This allows us to better understand the character's traits and behaviors by relating them to those of the animals. After describing the Acholi dances and arena attire, she says,
Weak and bony chests of weaklings, strong lion chests, large scars on the thighs, beautiful tattoos below the belly button, tattoos that have become sores on the chest.
Strong Acholi men's chests are compared to kings' chests, which are represented by a strong and powerful lion. She believes that by dressing in traditional dance attire, people can reveal their true selves in the arena. They resemble an animal stripped naked, revealing their true colors. This idea is developed further when she describes the female daughter of the bull. The female daughter is portrayed as proud, stubborn, and independent, all of which are traits associated with bulls. Lawino discusses the bull's daughter's pride and respect in the Acholi dances. This is because she regards the bull as a prominent figure in the village. She believes that being the bull's daughter will give her a sense of superiority and worth. That's how she feels about the Acholi dances. She says,
When the daughter of the bull enters the arena, she does not stand here like still beer that does not sell. She jumps here, she jumps there. When you touch her, she says, Don't touch me.
in this chapter, Lawino compares and contrasts Acholi and Western dances. She describes and exaggerates aspects of both traditions, emphasizing her preference for the Acholi dance. Lawino criticizes European dance. She claims that while the West has condemned her people's dances as immoral, European dances are meaningless, immoral, and gross. This is because they encourage people to embrace in public while disregarding family relationship rules. She says,
There is no respect for relatives. Girls hold their fathers, boys hold their sisters' clothes, they dance even with their mothers.
Lawino takes
the time after each description to explain the emotion and history behind the actually dance and song, which helps us connect with her and realize that their customs have meaning. She describes the atmosphere as loud, energetic, and joyful, with everyone acting dignified. She claims that Acholi dances are not pretentious. People are exposed for who they are in the arena because flows cannot be hidden.
The tattoos on her chest are like palm fruits. The tattoos on her back are like stars on a black night. Her eyes sparkle like the fireflies.
Her eyes sparkle like the fireflies implies that her eyes are alive and happy, evoking wonder and enjoyment. The Acholi dances must be enjoyable because fireflies are associated with energy, attraction, and spirit. Lawino's lack of explanation for the Western dance may indicate a lack of understanding of their dance. This could be because she cannot relate to it. She describes the atmosphere at their events as crowded, stinky, and unhygienic, with people acting uncivilized. After describing the Acholi dance, which features powerful and beautiful animals, she says the opposite about the white dance. She describes the white dance as like being inside a hyena's den. She says,
"It is hot inside the house. It is hot like inside a cave, like inside a hyena's den. And the women move like fish that have been poisoned. They stagger, they fall face upwards like fish that are dead drunk with lugoro or bear, like small fish out of water."
Lawino sees the women as possessed and unnatural, uneasy in their surroundings and pretending to be someone they are not. And the women move like fish that have been poisoned. In this statement, Lawino refers to Western women. She almost feels sorry for them. When she talks about how Westerners dance, she shows both disgust and disappointment. Poisoned fish wriggle and shake uncontrollably until they die. These Western dances, according to Lawino, are disorderly, disorganized, and a waste of time. Chapter 4. My name blew like a horn among the Paira. Paira is one of the largest clans in the Acholi region. Chapter 4 focuses on decorations and games. Lawino recalls how beautiful and talented she was when she was younger. She also recalls how all the boys admired her singing and dancing. This chapter also describes Lawino's youth and how Ocol once wooed and won her. While recalling Ochol's wooing and the beauty of her home, Lawino's voice takes on a nostalgic tone.
"When Ocol was wooing me, my breasts were erect, and they shook as I walked briskly. And as I walked, I threw my long neck this way and that way, like the flower of the Lawino lily, waving in a gentle breeze."
In chapter 1, we saw that the Lawino lily is a type of water lily with very bitter roots. In chapter 4, the same water lily is mentioned but this time with very beautiful flowers. Lawino tells us angrily how Ocol now condemns her inability to dance in the Western style. She then turns and mocks Ocol's incompetence in all Acholi games. Chapter 5. The graceful giraffe cannot become a monkey. The graceful giraffe represents the beauty of the African woman, while the monkey represents white women. The monkey also represents those who imitate white people by wearing white people's wigs. Chapter 5 looks at the question of what is considered beautiful. Ocol thinks the way Lawino does her hair is ugly, so Lawino laments. He says that I make his bed sheets dirty and his bed smelly. Ocol says I look extremely ugly when I'm fully adorned for the dance. On the other hand, Lawino praises her beauty and the beauty of her people. I am proud of the hair with which I was born, and as no white woman wishes to do her hair like mine because she is proud of the hair with which she was born. Lawino then criticizes Ocol's wife's hair and that of her people. When the beautiful one with whom I share my husband returns from cooking her hair, she resembles a chicken that has fallen into a pond. Her hair looks like the python's discarded skin. In the previous paragraphs, it is said that Lawino is proud. She is proud not only of her beauty, but of every aspect of her way of life. From this position of pride, she attacks, I have no wish to look like a white woman. Now, Lawino makes the argument here that Ocol should not try to be something he is not. No leopard would change into a hyena, and the crested crane would hate to be changed into the bald-headed dung-eating vulture. The long-necked and graceful giraffe cannot become a monkey. Let no one uproot the pumpkin. In this chapter, Lawino encourages African women to abandon artificial and European methods of hair cooking for beauty. They must remain natural. They shouldn't abandon their traditions. The poem evolves into an argument in defense of traditional African values. As she discusses the differences between European and African traditions and values, we see Lawino's wit at work. Her argument is that European culture is good for Europeans and African culture is good for Africans. However, in an objective comparison, she paints a negative picture of European values. She also paints a positive picture of African values by using subtle animal imagery.